Hey guys, welcome to Toy Chat. This is Max.
And Sang.
And today we are reviewing one of the latest Ever After High dolls. So this is the new Apple White doll. And what's kind of interesting about this line is it's labeled as Powerful Princess Tribe on Amazon, but the box itself, as it's delivered in the US, says Powerful Princess Club. Yeah, so this is the first new Ever After High line to be released ever since, the initial batch of reboot dolls in Epic Winter. A lot of people have a lot of things to say about it. This is maybe the most basic Ever After High packaging I've ever seen for something that isn't like a budget doll. The box itself, as with the previous new reboot releases, it's a very, very thin cardboard box. It's just, like a sheet of cardboard with a plastic casing. There's just a generic background, with the Ever After High castle and cloudy, watercolor design. And this doll comes with 3 accessories, and there's, the usual artwork with her current outfit. And so supposedly the whole gimmick of this line is, I guess it's like 2 outfits in one. You can kind of swap their outfit out. We'll play with that a little bit more once we open her up. Yeah, it's really difficult to tell if this is intended as like a movie line or a main line, side line. We don't really have confirmation technically because to my knowledge, we have not gotten official word of a new Ever After High movie yet. So, who knows where it's going to end up falling into place. But so it looks like the theme of this is, it's just like a generic blurb about Ever After High as a whole on the top. It doesn't really say anything about the line. And apparently each girl represents a different theme. So Apple's listed as leadership, Holly is knowledge, and Maddie is creativity. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and open Apple up. So here is Powerful Princess Club Apple White out of box. She has her trademark platinum hair. It is parted just off to the side a little bit. And she is wearing a golden crown. It's kind of similar to her Wave 1 crown.
Except it is flat.
Yes.
A lot of her accessories are flat, but it's kind of...
Yeah, so
I guess it's more like a tiara.
As with all the other recent releases, she has her smiling reboot face. She's wearing a peachy pink lipstick with a little bit of blush. Doesn't really appear like she's wearing any eyeshadow. There's like a very, very dull faded, kind of
like a tan.
Like a tan brown, like on her upper lids. And she's wearing dark red apple earrings. I will say one thing that the reboot, dolls are doing relatively correctly. The hair is actually pretty soft, pretty manageable. It feels like they've kind of, laid off on overdoing it with product. So she has kind of like some wavy, nice thick waves going in her hair. Moving on to her outfit, she is wearing a plastic golden collar. So
it looks like what Mattel has done is fuse her collar and her necklace into one piece. So it's just one chunk of solid plastic. It has a nice little ruffle pattern on her collar, as well as it's kind of hard to tell what kind of pattern is on her necklace piece.
I like the top of it with where it looks, it's kind of like a queenly, it looks like a ruffled cuff collar, but the rest of it is, it's kind of jumbled. You can't really tell what the design is. Beneath her collar, she has a white top with shimmery gold design running down the torso.
She has white shoulder cuffs, I want to say. Are they cuffs?
Not really cuffs, they're more like puffed sleeves. Yeah, they're kind of like little white.
Yeah, so she has sleeves. White cuff sleeves. They're very big, gives her that large shoulder look. Not a fan, but we'll get to that.
Yes. And her dress has 2 layers. So the top layer is just, very simple, bright apple red skirt with the hemline is just, has a little bit of simple gold on the bottom. And beneath that is the second portion of the dress, which it looks a lot like her Wave 1 dress, but I looked it up. It's not exactly the same. It's just very similar in color. It's a very deep royal red dress with a shimmery golden design of, looks like little flowers and leaves on it.
Kind of pattern you find on your grandma's wallpaper.
Kind of, yeah. It's very Apple, though. We've seen similar stuff on Apple before. And there's a little bit of black glittery tulle on the bottom of this.
And it's cut at an angle that we're going to show you. So it's short in the front and it folds out to like a cape in the back.
Yes. I actually like how it looks from the back. It looks more like, it's like a cape. So for the supposed, outfit change for this doll, you literally just yank this portion of the dress off. It's its own, completely separate piece. And when you take that off, it's, not hugely different, but it's basically just, like a more casual look.
It's more classic Apple, I guess.
Yeah, so this, without it, she's more like, student walking down the hall. With it, she's a little bit more royal looking.
Yeah, you just literally pull this off. Like the dress part is just elastic, so you just pull it over her legs or pull it off her legs.
Yeah, so you literally just pull it down to remove it. There isn't really no special technique to changing, between her 2 looks.
Yeah, it's not like that Holly doll that you just pull a dress up, but this one you pull it off.
Yeah, this one they almost kind of market these like they're like gimmick dolls where there's like that's not really so much the case. It's just
pretty much an extra piece of the dress you can peel off.
So, as with all the other
gone were the days where they had actual leggings, and in this case Apple here has some molded leggings in similar fashion to Epic Winter and some of the newer dolls. It looks like all of them have molded leggings now.
What's really interesting though, correct me if I'm wrong, this for some reason these particular molded leggings, they look different in a way. They look
they look, granted they changed the plastic mold they use for the leggings, but it's still molded leggings.
Yeah, it's still molded leggings. I still prefer regular clothing. To be honest though, I actually prefer these molded leggings to the Epic Winter molded leggings because they look more skin tight, especially from afar.
I guess it's on theme. It's on theme with the doll.
Yeah. Moving on to Apple's shoes. She is wearing a bright golden pair of heels with a very interesting pattern on it. To me, it makes it look like a mattress, the surface of a mattress.
It does. It has that velvet cushion look to it.
Mm-hmm. As you can see, they're very shimmery gold, and there's paint on them. Oh my gosh. There's like a little black design painted on them. Honestly, real talk, the shoes are probably one of my favorite parts of this doll. I actually really like the fact that the shoes look like the surface of a mattress. I think that's cute and creative.
So it wouldn't be Apple if it didn't come with any Apple's accessories. So on the back of the shoe, sadly where it cuts off, there is an apple right there.
So, in addition to the Apple White doll, this comes with 2 accessories and a card. We'll show you guys what it says on the card if you'd like to read it. Again, it seems like they're going with some kind of series of themes for this line. Apple's is leadership, and it talks about what it takes to be a great leader. And she also comes with a little apple purse with a green leaf on it, and a little royal staff topped with a crown and a little handle for her to hold it.
Yeah, so it's also flat too, so.
Yes, yeah, it's all little flat stuff here, except for the purse. The purse is three-dimensional.
And it opens.
And yeah, and the purse does also open. It's kind of a pain to open, but it is possible to open it. Okay, and these are our final thoughts on Powerful Princess Club Applewhite.
I don't even know where to begin. But it just seems like this line is kind of like a budget version of, say, the original / Legacy Day. Which, I mean, for people who have missed Legacy Day because they weren't into the series from the very beginning, it's a nice, it's a nice line in that sense. I actually am pretty surprised how much accessories it came with. You don't see earrings that much anymore, or purses, and she comes with a staff and painted shoes. So in that sense, it's very nice. Again, these are price point at $16.99, which is a modest price for these dolls. And again, Ever After I start out at $25 dolls, so it's definitely it's a long way. It's a lot cheaper now. But I just hate it. I just absolutely hate this line. I don't think there's anything I mean, as a collector from the very beginning of the Ever After High franchise, it's a huge disappointment in terms of quality, how authentic Ever After High was in the beginning. They were thriving to be, I guess, a more deluxe dolls line, a lot more detail in the outfits, and I don't mind paying a little bit more for dolls. They were more expensive than Monster High and Barbie, and it really shows in the quality of the dolls, so it's kind of sad to see, this is Apple. Like, if you show this doll compared next to like a Legacy Day or original, I don't think any kid will pick this doll over those two dolls. I'm not a big fan of her face. I think I get where they're going, I get that, but she looks like some of like the cheaper Barbie little sister dolls they are promoting in like the movie lines. It's just like, what's the point of this? Like, why is that on the doll? I mean, it's just a solid color, and it should have been flipped. This should have been on top, because it looks. I mean, I get it. I understand you want to offset something like the crazy pattern with some like solid colors, but it's Apple. Apple's fancy, These dolls are aimed for a younger crowd now. It's not for original age group or whatever that the original line was intended for. It feels like. I mean, I still give the pros of it. I still give it credit for being more detailed than some of the previous releases. So I mean, for $16.99, I guess. But I would wait until this was like $10. like molded leggings. I understand. I mean, I understand from a technical sales point. Maybe that cuts into the budget. But I thought molded legs are like anything molded is something that will cost $1,000 to make. So I don't understand that, because these are not like the same design molded legs that say Epic Winter has. So they spent money on them. Why can't they just give them leggings?
Yeah.
And the whole point of the whole point of dolls is you should be able to interchange your clothes. Little kids love dressing up their dolls, and when you have something so thematic like this, where it's all just one piece, you take away from that. Maybe this doll was kind of like a reaction to a lot of criticism that people have in the past, like, oh, they don't come with accessories anymore, oh, no joints, oh, no more purses. So I'm glad that they included accessories, but come on, this is a solid color.
Oh yeah, we forgot to
this
talk
is
about that.
this is flat, and
Yeah.
this is flat, and I don't even know what this is. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
My rant.
Yes, as some of you might know, Sang and I started collecting dolls because of Ever After High to some extent, the tide has definitely shifted. I mean, I will say, me personally, I'm not quite as doom and gloom as some people are about, you know, the new Ever After High dolls, but I definitely have some very large concerns about the direction it's heading. I mean, granted, though, the least of being me really wondering if Ever After High is just done, because, you know, we've got no word of a new movie and budget cut issues and etc. But that's a whole other discussion. But for this particular doll and this particular line, you know, when I first saw it, I don't know, it didn't strike me as anything we haven't seen before, you know. And I know it's historically, it's just, you know, like the characters are usually, they have a color scheme, you know, that is kind of delegated to their character, and they tend to kind of stick with that. Like, there were a lot of Apple releases that you know, were primarily red and white, that kind of thing. But there's just something very rehashy about this line. Yeah, like we've mentioned, like Sang mentioned, it feels like it's a bizarre combination of, you know, like their Wave 1 and Legacy Day. And again, it's like, yeah, it gives people who didn't get the chance to get the original dolls, you know, that kind of look. But it just doesn't feel as fresh or as daring as, you know, like Spring Unsprung or I don't know, Throne Coming. I don't know, just some of the flashier, more different and striking main lines. Again, we don't know for sure if this is a main line, but that being said, you know, as a standalone doll, especially if it's for someone younger, I think she's cute. To be honest, I think actually, ironically, my main issue with the new face molds, I actually don't necessarily mind the smile. My main issue is with the eyes. There's, especially like with this Apple specifically, like, her eyes look really far apart from each other. And I think that just gives her, I think that's what gives her face kind of like a weird, creepy look. Because I personally actually don't have problems with smiling dolls, so as long as it's not like overkill. But yeah, the Ever After High molds, and you know, I felt similarly about the new reboot Monster High molds at first. It's possible it's just growing pains. It'll take some time to get used to, and you know, the face molds, they're still in a transition. As you might notice, a lot of like the promo pictures, they don't look exactly the same as the faces in the final product. So it's possible, you know, the faces won't permanently look like this. It's possible they might evolve a little bit more over time. Yeah, you know, for $16.99. I very, very much appreciate that Ever After High has finally taken that very, very crucial, important step in this process. If they are going to be making all these budget cuts and taking things away and reducing quality and cheapening the packaging or the amount of accessories, I'm glad they finally reduced the price. That's very important. I'm very glad they did that. But I mean, this definitely does, it strikes me as like a $15 doll. It's definitely, it comes with, I appreciate the accessories she comes with, and it is maybe, you know, it has too much detail and accessories to be like a super budget doll or anything like that. But I still have faith in Ever After High. I think it still has a lot of potential as a brand. I'm just feeling very unsure and concerned about the general direction it's heading. And I'm just not feeling that general sense of, you know, doll magic I felt when I first started collecting. And I think, you know, that's something that almost every brand and piece of entertainment has to overcome, is it just, you know, sometimes they have a hard time recreating, you know, the charm and appeal it had at the very beginning. Could be a variety of reasons, you know, for why the brand is going in this direction, but I just hope they don't go too far down the rabbit hole of, you know, be like, we're Barbie 2.0. You know, I really want Ever After High to have its own identity. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with Max. It's, you know, it's you know, we as, you know, doll collectors, or just anyone who's a fan of dolls, there's a sense of doll fatigue. Like, if you keep seeing the same characters and the same look, it's you know, it's like why should I buy this if I have something similar to it? So I appreciate like for example, the Monster High reboot and like Ever After High changing up the faces and stuff. So in Monster High's standpoint, it's a complete refresh. So you know, you get to learn about the character a little bit more. But in terms of Ever After High, it feels like with this line, it feels like they're trying to recreate something that has been done before, but at lower cost.
I mean, to be honest, it kind of feels like both Monster High and Ever After High, though. They've invested too much of their reboots in changing the faces and the molds, and maybe not necessarily enough in refreshing, you know, like the clothing. Ever After High more so for sure, but because what I'm noticing is even with the Monster High reboot, you know, there's all they swept over and rebooted all these faces, but with so many, especially like the sidelines and even some of like the main dolls, we're seeing reprinted accessories, reprinted clothing, and as with this doll, like we said, it looks very similar. So it's very interesting to me. Like Sang mentioned, yeah, you get doll fatigue or toy fatigue in general. So in that sense, that makes an argument for the reboot. It's like, yes, a change is good, but it's like I don't understand why. I guess it might just be too costly.
It's this big like balancing act between, you know, you want new material at the same time you're trying to cut back on cost. So you're hoping the consumer is not noticing that you are reusing old molds or old fabric or whatever from previous lines, and that's I can understand that because again, you know, the average person who buys dolls, you know, they'll grow out of dolls at a certain age and maybe they'll come back for dolls. Who knows? But, you know, the person who buys Wave 1 Apple might not necessarily still be around to buy this Apple, and they want to be able to use some of those expensive molds that they have in the past, you know, and just reuse them. I mean, this is a whole nother topic, you know, we should do another, like, retrospective on, like, the whole reboot and the whole changes in Ever After and how we feel now that these dolls are out.
I think $16 is, you know, so $16, $17, it's pretty reasonable. I would recommend her if, you know, you're kind of a hardcore Ever After High fan. I think the Apple and the Maddie from this line they're very samey. They just feel redundant of previous releases, but they are cute. I prefer them to Holly. Holly's just kind of a wash, in my opinion. I might have to see her in person, but let us know in the comments your thoughts. You know, it's a tumultuous time to be an Ever After High fan, and yeah, if you'd be interested in us having a larger discussion on the direction the series is going as a whole, let us know. So this has been our review of Powerful Princess Club Applewhite. Be sure to let us know what you think of her in the comments. Link is in the description if you are interested in buying her on Amazon. As of this taping, she's been a little bit tough to come by. This line has been selling out pretty quick, but just keep watch of it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye!